Hey, welcome to GameStop. Huh? No, it's not GameStop, it's GamesStop. Presumably because we stopped restocking new games in the 80s, but anyway. Jokes aside, hello. Welcome to the shop. Can I help you? Are you looking for something in particular? Huh? Do I know you? Do I know you? Right, yeah, sorry, of course. Sorry, I didn't recognize you there. Have you done something with your hair, or... No? Okay, well, that's vaguely mortifying. Anyway, sorry I didn't recognize you. I'm in full work mode, you know. Anyway, yeah. GameStop. Yeah, can I help you? Are you looking for anything in particular, or just in for a chat? Christmas presents. Aha, I see. It's for what? Your nephew. Okay. So, well, what age is your nephew? Why? Because there's obviously, if your nephew is 24, he's going to want different games to if he's 12. And frankly, there's certain games that you wouldn't really want to give a 12-year-old. Well, you know, the gratuitous violence, the gratuitous adult imagery, the gratuitous loot boxes, you know, just gratuitous general stuff. Honestly, the loot boxes part is the worst one. I mean, the number of times you hear stories about kids spending £3,000, £4,000 on microtransactions in video games. I think EA have built several palaces to themselves with little Timmy's money. Well, it's not that I dislike EA. It's that I can't stand EA in any way. Like, it's... you know what loot boxes are, right? They're essentially gambling aimed at children. Okay, let me give you an example, right? So, sports game FIFA, you have a game mode that they've put all the attention into over the years because it's the only one they care about, because it's the one that makes them, it's the one that makes all this money. They basically have it that you can have cards, like sort of like trading card games, right? And to get a card, you can either buy one in the market of the game, which costs in-game currency, which you can't directly buy, at least not from them. Wink, wink. But yeah, you can't directly buy it, but you can buy packs, like card packs. And so, you either have to grind, you know, hours and hours and hours and hours of real time in order to get in-game currency in order to buy kind of some of the players. Although you then realize that, hey, because there are people who spend money, and I'll explain how they spend money in a second, because they spend money, you cannot, well, you can't not, because then the prices of everything get inflated because they have more coins, and because they have more coins, your coins that you've kind of worked for are worth less. The players you want are worth more coins, and that keeps going up in cycles. So I think people figured out how many games you would have to win in order to buy a Team of the Season Ronaldo one year, and it was disturbing. So the reality is you have to try and pack them. So you have to spend real money on FIFA points in order to buy card packs, imaginary card packs, in order to hopefully get some good players in those packs at astronomically low odds, hence the gambling analogy. Oh, and by the way, my favourite part, so if you had FIFA 22, for example, at the end of FIFA 22, aka when FIFA 23 comes out, you start again from scratch. So, unlike an actual card game where if you buy, say, a Black Lotus in Magic the Gathering, you have a Black Lotus, and the Black Lotus doesn't magically disappear after a year, your FIFA cards would. Are you starting to get an inkling of why I dislike this company now? And this is aimed, as I say, at small kids. So, yeah, well, I am not a fan. Plus, and here's the real thing for your nephew's sake and for your own. There are so many great games that have come out over the years that people haven't played, but they'll buy the newest hunk of junk. Especially nowadays, right? Because nowadays, so many games come out unfinished. So not only, well, the disc is unfinished because back in the day, you couldn't patch things, right? So when you release a game, that would be the game. You're smiling quite a lot at me. It's not a bad thing. It just it's nice. Yeah. Anyway, so when developers used to release games, what? Oh, hold on. I'll get a Rose. Rose, can you go and deal with the? Yeah, I'm having a conversation. Well, you're not doing anything, are you? No. So just... Yeah, right. Sorry, I'm the one doing most of the work all the day, and then, I ask someone else to lift their finger for 2 minutes so I can have a nice conversation with a customer who's going to buy something. No, I don't want to do anything. Yeah, I'm on my phone. I'm looking at Instagram. Oh, look, it's some legs and a sun. How interesting. Anyway, the point is, video game developers back in the day, the thing you put on the CD or on the cartridge was the game. So if that had bugs in it, they would stay forever, right? Bugs being glitches, things that don't work properly, all that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, I know, but some people might not know. Anyway, so nowadays what happens is the CD that you'll get, right, that you'll buy in a physical shop like here, you'll have to download a patch on day one because, say it takes 2 months for the big game developers from the moment they have to finish the CD to get the CD all made up, get the boxes all made, get it sent off everywhere, get the full launch release stuff done, right? That whole schedule takes about 2 months. In that 2 months, they're still fixing bugs and problems, sometimes even adding in new features and all this kind of stuff. And so the day one patch is very important because that's going to fix a lot of issues that are still in the game. And even then, a lot of games after the day one patch are still not really fixed. There's still a lot of bugs and problems. And it's really only about 6 months, I would say, after release. Some of these games are actually in a good condition. And some are even worse. I mean, there's a very famous one, Cyberpunk 2077, had a huge hype cycle, was from a very well-respected developer, and was just an absolute shell of the game they'd promised. Was full of bugs. It was very, very sad because, some of the stuff they said sounded really cool, didn't deliver it at all, and then apparently 2 years later, it's now it was about 2 years for them to fix it. Although and whisper it a little bit quietly, okay? I do happen to know someone who knows someone, kind of thing. Apparently the Cyberpunk DLC that's coming out soon, TM, is going to be amazing. The people internally are saying it's the quality of Blood and Wine from Witcher 3, which is saying something. That's one of the best pieces of DLC ever made. DLC, downloadable content. It's basically so that's another thing that's new, right? So back in ye olden days, when you release a game, you release everything you'd ever have, right? And if you wanted to add new content, you had to make a sequel. Now, what happens quite frequently is that a video game developer will say, make their full game, but they'll have an extra bit they're working on as extra content that won't be ready for maybe an extra 9 months or a year or something like that. And then when they're finished that, they'll release it as an extra, a paid extra to the game. So if the game costs you £60, then the paid extra DLC costs you another £15, say. And it's extra bits of the game, extra bosses or levels or, whatever it is for whatever game it is. Well, I'm glad you find it interesting. Sorry, I'm really, really kind of rambling on. It's something of a trait, I'm afraid. You wanted something for your nephew, right? So your nephew is what age? Huh? Not just your nephew. Okay, well, talk about the other person in a minute, I guess. Let's sort out nephews. And nephew's what age? Okay, yeah, well, I mean, of course it makes sense, but, I don't know, some family trees get a bit weird, so. Okay, I mean, I'm going to be honest. My straight up recommendation, Pokemon. The only problem with Pokemon is that Nintendo, their hardware tends to be buy the newest one, and oh, by the way, it doesn't play all the old ones. So you only get a couple of games per cycle, but at the end of the day, they are... I mean, Nintendo as a whole do make some of the best games in the industry still. And they're more, kid-friendly games in general, right? Stuff like Mario, Pokemon obviously is a huge one. Pokemon is, by the way, technically the biggest franchise in the world for anything, not just games media, because it has films, it has TV shows, but the biggest one is actually merch. It's plushies, it's stuff like that, keychains and all this sort of stuff. And as a card game, and as the games, obviously. Yeah, it's just a mega franchise. Anyway, the point is that's, it's that popular for a reason. It's a touchstone, it's a cultural icon, and yeah, I severely doubt that they won't enjoy it. It's also a great introduction for anyone who doesn't really play games, to be honest. Of all the games for older people, you could argue stuff like maybe Skyrim or The Witcher 3 are two good candidates because they're both great games. They're both quite open-ended. They're very good value for money in the sense that you get a lot of playing time out of them. So they're candidates, but Pokemon is a candidate for someone of any age, honestly. It really is a great entry point into gaming. So yeah, when we have some of the new games, we also have some of the older ones secondhand. Do you know if they have any consoles or... They have a Switch. Well, that's pretty easy then. So that's obviously the newest console. And yeah, there's a few games. I would recommend Brilliant Diamond. It's a remake of one of the older games. It's got the kind of Pokemon classic feel as opposed to some of the newer ones which are doing... I wouldn't go nearly as far as to call experimental. Pokemon very much sticks to the same formula for the most part. But yeah, I think that's the kind of classic games are a good place to start. Pokemon Diamonds, which would be a good one. Got it right here. Yeah, that'd be a good one. We can put you down for that. And then you had someone else you were going to buy something for. A guy. Oh, okay, cool. Is this a guy you like, or... Yeah? Okay, yeah. What age is he? Well, our age? Okay, that makes sense. He wasn't exactly going to be 70, was he? Or at least that would have been a bit creepy. Right, so, yeah. Right, okay, guy our age. Well, I can tell you about... what games does he like? You think you should get him something new? Well, I can tell you, for example, a game I've been waiting to buy myself has rave reviews is God of War Ragnarok. I actually do a little bit of streaming. I have a gaming channel that, you can have a little look out for after this if you want. Where'd you find it? You know my name, so... It's also in the description of all my videos and all that you definitely subscribe to, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, so the people on my stream really want me to play God of War Ragnarok. I've heard that the kid is very hateable, but we'll see. And also, apparently, the companions are a bit chatty. But, that all being said, these are like the very kind of minor gripes of an apparently outstanding product, so... absolutely nothing in the world is entirely perfect, and these like tiny things that aren't excellent, but apparently everything else basically is. I know a lot of people are saying that this deserved to win Game of the Year over Elden Ring. I loved Elden Ring. Or I really enjoyed Elden Ring. I do like other Dark Souls games more though. Sorry, I'm rambling again. Yeah, if this guy, you know, hasn't played God of War, I would suggest getting that. Well, it's only out on the PlayStation 4 and 5. It's a Sony exclusive game. There's lots of... The gaming industry has lots of games that are exclusive to certain machines. I mean, Bloodborne is still locked away on the PS4. Can't get it on PS5 even. You can't get it on PC, which is very common for games to eventually get ported to the PC. Bloodborne's one of the best games ever made, in my opinion, and it's a shame that it's kind of locked away like this. But, you know, I'm sure they'll remake it someday. Anyway, my point is, yeah, I mean, I just very recently didn't get myself a PS5 because, you know, so I got a PS4. I don't know. I think you have to find out what they have. So, You think they have a PS4? I mean, we have a returns policy, obviously, so if you want to return it, you can. Okay, so I can put you through for those two things. And yeah, if you just want to tap your card here. Cool, perfect. And yeah, I guess I'll see you around. That'll be... Huh? Why you get... No, you bought it. It's got the CD in it, right? You take that and you give it to the guy you like. No, you don't need to give it back to me. I promise you, like, the game's fine. You don't... Is this about the day one patches? Why are you giggling? Look, it's... I'm telling you, the game is fine, okay? You've bought it, you've exchanged money for goods and services, and now you can give that to the guy you like, and he can take it and play it and all that kind of stuff. Well, stop trying to give it to me. What? I'm not an idiot. Wait, you, did you buy that game from me? That's one of the... Wow, that's really, honestly, one of the sweetest things anyone's ever done for me. Holy... Are you sure? I'll... I don't really know what to say apart from I thank you so much. It's overwhelmingly nice of you, and I really... You like me, huh? That's surprising. Well, for a start, I couldn't remember your name earlier, who you were, and also you've always kind of... Well, as long as we're making nice gestures, I've always really liked you from afar and never really had the guts to say it. So, there's that. I don't really know how to... What? You have to go? Okay, I mean, wait, bye?